What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Miss Holly B. I want to say thank you so much for coming back to my channel, and thank you for clicking on this video. If you saw the title, then that lets me know that the content that I put in my title was appealing to you, and you wanted to hear what I had to say. Just remember, I'm not a mental health professional. I'm just a girl and a lady that's been through some things, and just consider me, your friend, and we're here to both talk about it. Let's put it on the table. Why you should choose you. That's something very deep and something sometimes very vague as well. And many people don't realize that they're making decisions to be in relationships, be in friendships, be in co-working ships or workspace with your peers, co-workers. And you might find that you're always caring for everybody else. And when you look around, nobody is caring for you, right? And so what does that mean? Why does that resonate so deeply? Because you have to remember that it's important to choose you in every situation. Why is it important to choose you? It's important because that means that you're making sure that your well-being is numero uno. Okay, you're making sure that you are taking care of yourself first, because if you can't take care of your own needs, no one else is entitled to do that. And sometimes we think that in our friendships and relationships that we just assume, right? We just assume that somebody's going to be looking out for us. They know what you're thinking. They know what your needs are. But you got to remember, sometimes even if people have been around you for a lifetime or they're new in your life, they don't know you. They don't know what your needs are. They don't know what you're thinking. And so you have to choose you in every situation so you can make sure that your needs are put first and your well-being as well. This allows you to better understand and care for yourself. When you better understand and care for yourself, then we're not waiting for someone else to come and clean up that mess, right? That means that no matter what, hey, I woke up this morning, okay, I got to get my kids, most of us, if we're parents, or I got to go check on my loved one, okay, if we're in a relationship, or my dogs, but did you take care of you first? Right? So the moment that you wake up, most of us, we pray or we have some sense of religion or spirituality. And so you just want to take the moment and just say, I'm alive. What do I need to do today? So when you're writing your agenda down and you're writing in your what is that, iPhone calendar, make sure that you prioritize something in a slot for you every day. This is something key that a lot of people ask me often. Oh, girl, I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you balancing that. Yeah, because I always make sure that I choose me first. I always make sure now I do a better job with making sure I incorporate time for myself in every day, okay, in every scenario. And it does sound like, oh, it's so easy for you to say to do that. And you don't know, girl, I got to go to work. I got to drop these kids. Yeah, I do know. I do know, and that's why I'm talking about it, because I know that if you don't choose you, you can be overwhelmed, overstressed, make irrational decisions. You're going to start being frustrated. You're going to start physically feeling the load of, oh my God, I didn't choose anything for me to do this day. I didn't make sure that I was good. And what you do, you come home, you're mad, you're frustrated, you take it out on your spouses, you take it out on your kids. I know, because I was that girl. I was that girl that would, oh my God, everything had to be perfect. And I thought that all of my 20s that there was a certain way to be. But you know what was the problem was because I was expecting people to show up for me and I wasn't showing up for me. So that's why I'm telling you, you got to choose you. You got to choose you. So choosing you leads to a more fulfilling life. Just think about it. This is going to enable you to set these healthy boundaries, make decisions that align with your values, and so you can show up authentically in your relationships, your friendships, with your kids, even if you're a single parent, woman or man. Okay, even if you're a caregiver of a family member, a dog, guess what? They feel your energy, right? Energy is big. And so if you're off in any way, if you're unhappy, even if you don't verbally, you can be physically expressing it and don't even have to say a word. So it's important that you choose you so that way your mind, your energy, what you exude is positive. Everything about you will be received well because you make sure that you prioritize yourself and you're not waiting for no one else. Okay? So make sure that you do that every day. But it's about recognizing your worth. right? You got to make sure that you know your worth. You got to know that you're worthy. You got to know that you're loved. And it starts with you. You cannot assume that someone else is going to pick up the baton just because you marry them and now all of a sudden you put that low, oh, he knows what I like or she knows what I want. You can't do that, because when you start to display those kind of things, you're going to start to act out, maybe in anger and attitude, snapping at the other person, getting attitude, because really you didn't prioritize you. You know, I used to be a spouse, and oh my God, when I was married, I never forget, I used to get so mad because my spouse would choose things that he loved to do over what I thought was important, like, you know, cleaning up and da da da. Yes, that is important. But it's like, okay, this person also worked hard all day, just equally as me. And whatever way that they did to contribute to the family, I was so naive to think like, oh, you're being selfish because you're choosing some time to yourself, when I really was upset because I wasn't choosing time to myself. So I always say that when people look at me and, you know, they're quick to say, oh my God, you know, I don't know how you do whatever. I'm able to do all of these things in my life, being a mom, entrepreneur, making time for YouTube, making time for, you know, volunteering, what, school, oh my God, school, classwork, all these things that I have to do in many hats. But guess what I told myself when I wake up? Okay, I'm so grateful to you, God, that you woke me up today. I got another chance. What am I going to do for myself today? Now, mind you, I have kids. I have all this stuff. I know that that's routine, but I had to slow down and start thinking like, you know what? What am I going to do for myself? Now that I'm in a space where I am single in my household with my kids, I'm able to focus on me. And so people often look at, if you are single and watching me, don't look at it as such a down, dragging situation. If you're married and you have a spouse, don't look at that as a down. Don't take it out on your people, okay? Don't take it out on your person. Don't take it out on your kids. Because a lot of times we're overwhelmed because we want to do things too. What do kids do when they get home? They want to put their backpack down. They want to have fun. Clean up your room. Da 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 da. But you have to give them time, because you got to remember, they've been working hard too. They've been in class all day. Somebody's telling them left and right, left and right. And so you need to make sure that they're making time. So it's about setting those boundaries and balancing it, okay? You have to be able to find balance in your life. You have to make sure that you're also being aware that people around you need that as well. And they need you at your best self. So if you're not showing up as your best self, people are going to feel that. Your energy is going to be off. Your mental health is going to be off. And you are not going to be fully checked in to the things that need you the most, right? Because just because you're choosing you, it doesn't mean that you're giving up what's important to you. It just means that you're making sure that you prioritize yourself within that day. So that means you need a lot of self-awareness. That means you need to make sure you focus on your needs. Like I said, when you wake up, you make sure that you prioritize yourself in that day. You're making sure that you find something for you to do. What's going to make you happy today? Is it getting a coffee and speaking to Miss Ma'am at the coffee shop? Or is it going to be getting yourself some flowers? Is it going to be taking a walk? Is it working out? Is it reading? Is it sitting in your car listening to music? Is it getting your yogurt? Whatever that is, buying yourself something. You need to make sure that you prioritize yourself and make sure that you're self-aware and you can, hey, I'm off right now. I need a moment. I need a moment. But don't wait till you're in these drastic scenarios and now it's too late and the damage has been done to yourself and the people around you. Okay, remember that self-awareness is a big part of choosing yourself. The next thing you should make sure is, again, that you check in with your mental. Okay, that doesn't mean everybody's walking around here with mental health. We all have things that bother us and we internalize it and we assume, again, that people know what we're feeling, what we're going through, how we're processing the situation may not be the way our spouses or our kids. And so in order to be at your best self, your mind has to be strong. Your mind has to be strong. And that's the one thing I tell people. I've gotten in my own way. You know, I don't be so quick now to point fingers, because at the end of the day, these are choices I made and I had to make sure my mental health was on top. So I had to take time out. It doesn't mean you have to always have a therapist and counselor, but you need to make sure you have the resources for you so that way you can say, okay, I'm off right now. All right, I need a break. I need a moment because I feel like I've taken in so much. And communicate your needs, because you can't assume somebody knows what's going on in your mind. So being self-aware and making sure you have your mental health on check and you have outlets to help you, because people are committing suicide all because they're overwhelmed with, oh my God, I have to pay these bills, and the way of America and life and kids, and but that doesn't mean that they're not, you know they're just processing it in a different way, and that's part of your mental health. So being self-aware in your mental health, make sure along with that you set those boundaries. Set those boundaries. I mean, I don't mean walk around here being a bully, but I'm going to say you set boundaries when it comes to your time. You make sure that you set boundaries and prioritize yourself. Or you just tell people no. It's nothing wrong with saying no, because you don't want to put too much on your plate, and now you're overwhelmed. And now at the end of the day, instead of relaxing and just being grateful of what you've accomplished and just being thankful for the day and hoping to make it to the next day, you're over here, upset and mad about how much you had to do in that day. You need to set boundaries. Hey, I can't do this. Hey, I can't take that on. That's something that I had to work on for myself. And that's something that I'm telling you, that in choosing you, you have to be able to set boundaries. Because when a person comes to you for something, it's for them. When your job asks you to do a task, yes, it's required if it's your job description and you want to receive compensation and be satisfactory at your role. But you have to make sure you're choosing yourself. If you're at a job that's unhappy and you're unhappy, then okay, you're going to be miserable. Okay, you may take this home. Okay, you will be unhappy. Because honestly, you didn't choose yourself. You just chose, oh, I'm going to get this job and yeah, it pays the bills. But you didn't think about what come along with it, how it's going to affect you. So make sure that you're setting boundaries, that you make sure you have healthy boundaries, and you learn to tell people no, okay? If it's outings and events, and say you had a heavy week and you haven't had time with your family and you're talking about your kids' activities in church, no. You need to say, hey, I haven't taken care of me, okay? I need time to take care of me. I need time to reflect. I need time to go into the next day, the next week stronger, healthier. I need time to rest my mind. You can't stay robotic in operation. And I feel, my personal opinion, a lot of us here in the States, this is how we operate, because this is all we know. Be a slave, I call it, to the trade. And we're not looking at, are we doing things to fulfill our happiness? I'm in a career field that I'm truly happy. I'm truly happy with the career that I'm in. I'm happy doing my job. I'm happy. You're going to feel that if you're working with me. I'm happy, but when I'm unhappy, I'm going to draw back, and maybe it's because I didn't set firm boundaries. Maybe I didn't speak up for myself. Maybe I didn't advocate enough. But at the end of the day, I had to learn how to push through that. So being self-aware, setting your boundaries, and making sure that you have healthy boundaries and that you check in with your mental health. And make sure that these are going to negatively and positively impact you. So obviously we don't want a negative impact. We want positive impacts in our life, because it doesn't impact us. It impacts everybody around it. Anybody that comes around you, oh my God, Holly always got an attitude. She don't want to talk to nobody, this and that and that. You may be setting a boundary because maybe something you saw, but you didn't verbalize, so people are left to assume. And again, I've been guilty of this. We're talking about things that I had to go learn and grow, cry, pray through, like all of these things that I'm mentioning. And that's why I wanted to use this platform to come back and talk about it, because these are things that are so small and simple that if you address it head on from the beginning, then no matter what situation comes your way, you're going to know, like, hey, I'm going to have a good day. I'm setting my intentions on my day. I'm making sure I choose me today. I'm so happy. I'm so thankful, Lord. And, I have a better process and understanding on what I need to do so I can be great, so I can show up for my family, my peers, people that need me, love me, and respect me. Okay, so make sure you remember that when you're choosing you. The other thing I will say is just remember, you choosing you is not selfish. I have been with people that made me feel, or have made statements that, I was selfish. Not one particular person. Everybody got a little dose and dabble, because I was choosing myself. Whether it was, oh, you're being selfish because I wasn't doing things that they assumed I was going to do to fulfill them, or I'm being selfish because I'm taking care of myself. So there was two sides of the coin. Oh, I wasn't doing what they wanted me to do. Like I said, setting those boundaries, even if I'm already knowing, hey, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to do this. And I'm being like, oh my God, being accused or assumed that I would do something and it wasn't satisfactory to a partner. Just example. And then now, oh, you're so selfish. No, it's because they can't make themselves happy. They didn't choose themselves. They didn't make themselves happy. Now they put that on you. That's exactly what I'm telling you not to do, okay? I'm telling you, if you're watching this video, don't allow people to make you think that choosing you is selfish. And especially my moms, okay? Especially my dads. Any parent that's doing this independently, you cannot think that you just can, oh, I'm going to take my kids to do. No, and not include you, girl. I don't care if you're in between practices. You make time for yourself. Okay, you're going to practice. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get a coffee. Don't just stand there and sit there looking crazy. Find something for you to do. Find something for you to pour into yourself to do, a hobby. I got into a habit of every month, at one point, especially last year, of just, finding the top 3 things I love to do. And the things I was like, oh my God, I like to ski. Okay, there's no slopes here. This is Texas. But, okay, I can kayak. I love to kayak. And I honestly didn't know how to kayak. I learned how to kayak from an 80-something-year-old patient of mine. And so, all that to say, I fell in love with it. The amount of peace that I had. Walks. I started taking walks. Obviously, I was working out and really looking at, health, wellness, and fitness. And I just started to take walks. And yes, I would invite people, but hey, I'm doing it for me. You can come along or whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm doing it for my health. I'm doing it for my mental health. And I felt good about it. So remember that you taking time for yourself and choosing you. Choosing you is not selfish, okay? Don't let anyone tell you that. There is a balance to that, but you make sure you tell people up front, I need this time, I need this space. The next thing that's very, very important to remember is balance is key. I'm not a Libra, but they're known for their scales. I'm a Leo. So I'm used to taking charge and getting in there, getting it done. But I had to remember, again, I spent all of my 20s being a wife and a mom. And I think reflecting back, I think my biggest challenges was learning how to balance it all. And that it's not going to be perfect. Not every cushion on your couch is going to be perfect, girl. The towel's folded perfectly. And oh my God, how dare you play and do this. And I'm over here doing this. No, some people just work with your partner, work with your family. Let them know what your needs are. Let them know, hey, I don't have it all. I can. And that's my thing. I can hold it down. But guess what? I want to make time to take care of myself. I want to make sure that I check in with me and making sure that I'm choosing myself. I delegate. So you can fit that time in there for you. It's not selfish, remember. It's a balance. Okay, I worked hard. My kids, I still have 2 hours. Don't go and, ripping and running. No. Take the time and say, hey, I'm going to take a minute right here and go to work out. Or whatever that is you like to do. Listen to music. Buy yourself something. All things in moderation and healthy. But just make sure that you remember the balance is the key, okay? Balancing is the key. Trust me. Learning to balance that is to recognize what your needs are, what your family needs are, what your day-to-day needs are, working, whatever that looks like. If you're single, just look at what the things you have to do and then learn how to balance. Okay, I would like to do this. Maybe on certain days I can only go. And just give yourself something to look forward to every day. That's very important when you're choosing yourself. And remember to self-reflect. Self-reflection starts within. Don't outwardly reflect that, no, look within and look at, hey, it's been 3 months. I haven't taken a vacation, but you got all the sick leave saved up. Why you didn't take a vacation? Last year was for me, testimony. Last year was a very, very wave of a year. I was, in a working space that, it was coming to end. And then I was having to prioritize one of my child's needs. And then I landed a wonderful role. And then that changed. And then it's like up and down. And then I could have went back to clinic. I could have went back to the clinic and jumped back in there, patient care. I decided to teach and get into education. But what I really decided to do was I'm going to take the summer. That was the first year I actually took the time that I had and traveled. I took the time and traveled. And I tell you, it was the best decision, and it helped my mind, because now I'm like, oh my gosh, I have the money to afford to do so. I have the time, and I just chose to take a time out and step back instead of just, jumping and making decisions and changing and changing and changing. Look at what I needed. Look at my career. Look at everything I've contributed, and what, like, I'm shifting. I'm getting older. What do I need to do now? What does Holly want? What do I need to take care of my family, and what do I need? What do I desire out of life? So I hope that you took some takeaways away from today's video. I'm so thankful that you stopped to my channel. Please make sure that you look at my other video. We're going to get into more of this sit down, up close and personal content, because I feel like these are topics that are so important and so needed. And most of these are just reminders. Choosing you is just a reminder, and I think the human in us wants us to be so selfless, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you have to remember to choose yourself in order to keep going, okay? Keep going, stay strong, because, unfortunately, I've had a lot of news come to me in the last month, and I've had my own ups and downs, but I had to remember, choosing myself was the best thing that I did for my life. For my womanhood, I'm just so full of gratitude even more now, because I'm not so busy trying to people please and please everyone else. I'm doing exactly what I love to do. I do what feels right to me. I'm around people that I feel like I, genuinely connect with. And I don't feel bad about choosing to not be around people and things that I don't, because in this life, we're on a time clock, okay? You got to choose you. Don't let your life be in vain. Don't let your story be unread. Write your own story. It's never too late. If you're watching this and you're 65 and up, girl, it's never too late, or guy. Just choose yourself. Make sure that you remain the most important to you, okay? In that marriage, you still have your individual life. In your friendship, you still have your own identity. With your kids, yes, you are a mom or a dad, but that's not all that you are. You are defined by all the things and all the great things about you. And choose yourself. Stand up for yourself. Advocate for yourself. It's not selfish, but if you don't, you may regret it. Okay? So I love y'all. Y'all are my baes. Just know I mean well. My heart genuinely loves talking about these kind of topics. I hope that you come back. Today, I really felt compelled to talk about choosing you. And I hope you guys come back for more content. Let me know what topics you want to talk about. Make sure y'all chime in the comments. Chat back. Let me know, if you just overcame a situation, or if you're dealing with something. Sometimes, I just look at this as I'm not judging. I'm telling you a lot of my hardships, and I'm being transparent, because one thing I learned, that so many people look up to me, but they don't understand the decisions I had to make to get to a place of peace in my life, like with no regrets, And yeah, it started with just taking steps back and saying, where do I fit in this life? Where do I fit in this world? What are the things that I had to overcome? And choosing myself was one. So I love you guys. Please make sure you stick around, watch the video to its entirement, watch other content that I have, and come back for more videos with Miss Holly B. I love y'all. Bye.